My dear people of Burkina Faso, my fellow Africans, and all those around the world watching with curiosity, confusion, or even concern, today I speak to you not just as your president, but as your brother, your son, and your fellow soldier in the fight for dignity, sovereignty, and African self-determination. A historic decision has been made. As of today, all foreign technical workers, contractors, consultants, and advisors employed in critical sectors of our nation, sectors like mining, education, agriculture, infrastructure, health, and defense, have been relieved of their duties. These roles will now be fully handed over to qualified, trained, and patriotic citizens. This decision is not an act of hostility, it is not a declaration of war, it is a declaration of independence. For too long, we have spoken of sovereignty while allowing foreign agents to make decisions that shape our land. For too long, we have claimed to be free while our development is designed by people who do not share our dreams, do not feel our hunger, and do not know our struggle that ends now. This is not a move made in haste. Over the past year, my government has quietly prepared for this transition. We have trained engineers, we have educated doctors, we have empowered local builders, teachers, scientists, and administrators. The people are ready, not tomorrow, not 10 years from now, but now. Why should our mining sector be directed by outsiders while our youth remain unemployed? Why should NGOs and Western contractors earn millions from aid programs while our local experts are sidelined and silenced? Why should we trust strangers to lead our national projects when our own people are perfectly capable? This decision is about justice, it is about equity, but above all, it is about respect for ourselves, our potential, and our future. Let me be clear, Burkina Faso is not cutting ties with the world. We are not isolating ourselves. We are simply reclaiming our right to lead in our own house. If any foreign partner wishes to collaborate, let it be on terms of equality and mutual respect, not dominance. And I say to our African brothers and sisters, watch us, walk with us, and rise with us, because this is not only a decision, it is an African awakening. The days when our nations were managed from abroad, when our policies were written in foreign languages by foreign consultants, those days are gone. A new Africa is being born, an Africa that trusts its youth, an Africa that respects its women, an Africa that doesn't export raw wealth and import dependency. Some in the West may panic. Some institutions may threaten to pull their funding. Let them. We will not beg, we are not beggars, we are builders, and we are ready to build Burkina Faso with our own hands, sweat, and spirit. Already we are seeing the results. Engineers are building roads, our nurses are saving lives in the villages, our young entrepreneurs are launching tech startups. This is what happens when you believe in your people, when you invest in your people, when you stop outsourcing your destiny. So today I ask you to stand tall, not in defiance, but in pride. Stand tall as a nation that has chosen to walk upright, not crawl on its knees. Stand tall as a people who are writing their own story, not being written into someone else's chapter. Stand tall as Africans who know the era of foreign rule, whether military, economic, or intellectual, is over. In conclusion, let me say this: Burkina Faso belongs to its people, and it will be built by its people. May our courage be contagious, may our vision be victorious, and may history remember this day not as a moment of conflict, but as the day we reclaimed our dignity. Thank you. Long live Burkina Faso. Long live a free and sovereign Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this special report on one of the most groundbreaking political decisions coming out of West Africa today. I'm your host, and we are broadcasting live to deliver an earth-shaking development straight from Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. In a bold, unprecedented move that has already sparked global attention, the President of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim, has officially ordered the complete replacement of all Western contract workers, consultants, and technical advisors within the country's key sectors with qualified citizens. Yes, you heard that right. Every Western worker operating in strategic roles across various ministries and development projects has been relieved of duty, and their positions are being handed over to trained, patriotic citizens of Burkina Faso. This historic policy, which was announced earlier this week during a press briefing at the presidential palace, is already being hailed by some as a powerful stride toward genuine African autonomy, and by others as a controversial rejection of the old world order. But regardless of the side of the debate you may fall on, one thing is clear: the African narrative is shifting, and Burkina Faso is once again at the center of that transformation. President Ibrahim, the young firebrand leader who rose to power with the promise of restoring dignity and sovereignty to his people, has shown time and again that he is not afraid to challenge international systems that have long dictated the fate of African nations. But this latest move may well be the most daring yet by eliminating the reliance on foreign technical assistance, aid conditionality, and imported labor from Western countries. The president is signaling a new era, one in which Burkina Faso chooses to stand on its own 2 feet. Now, for decades, Africa, particularly West African countries like Burkina Faso, has struggled with a cycle of dependency. Western nations, international organizations, and donor agencies have entrenched themselves in local governance, education, healthcare, mining, agriculture, and even the military, often under the pretext of development cooperation. But critics of this arrangement argue that these foreign experts often hold disproportionate control over local decisions, siphoning knowledge and wealth, while undermining the growth of local capacity. Captain seems to have had enough. In his address, he stated, and I quote, "We cannot claim to be sovereign while our own ministries are run by foreign hands. We cannot speak of independence when our economy is shaped by those who do not share our suffering. The time has come for us to trust in our own minds, our own people, and our own future." Strong words indeed, but the president was not speaking without preparation. His administration has, over the past year, been silently implementing a comprehensive national training program across various sectors: agriculture, engineering, civil service, technology, energy, and public health. Over 18,000 professionals have been trained under this program, ready to take over the responsibilities previously held by foreign contractors. Let us break that down further. In the mining sector alone, which forms a major pillar of Burkina Faso's economy, more than 70% of key roles in gold and phosphate management were being held by Western consultants, many of whom were making decisions about extraction rates, environmental impact assessments, and even local labor policies. These positions will now be managed by engineers and geologists who understand the land, the culture, and the people they serve. In healthcare, thousands of nurses and doctors have returned from training abroad in Cuba, Russia, and India, ready to serve in the rural areas once flooded by expensive foreign NGOs. The same applies to infrastructure. From road construction to water systems and digital networks, local talent is now in control. Of course, this move does not come without significant international pushback. Early responses from some Western embassies in Ouagadougou have ranged from diplomatic concern to outright protest. One unnamed European diplomat reportedly warned that Burkina Faso's decision may jeopardize ongoing partnerships and donor funding. The IMF and World Bank, as of this report, have issued neutral but cautious statements, emphasizing the importance of inclusive economic development, but the people of Burkina Faso are not blinking. On the streets of Bobo Dioulasso, Kaya, and Wahiguya, citizens gathered in mass celebrations, dancing, waving flags, and chanting slogans of unity and self-reliance. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of solidarity from across Africa, particularly from youth in Ghana, Nigeria, Mali, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Many are calling this decision a blueprint for the rest of the continent to follow. And that is perhaps the most important element of this story, not just what this means for Burkina Faso, but what it could represent for Africa as a whole. Could this be the beginning of a continental shift away from foreign dependency? Could it ignite a wave of structural reform, where African governments invest in their human capital instead of outsourcing their futures? Could we be witnessing the seeds of what Kwame Nkrumah once envisioned: a truly liberated Africa, built by Africans for Africans? Captain appears to think so. In his closing statement, he declared, "Let this be a message to every young African. We are no longer waiting for permission. We are building with our own hands. Let us stop being beggars on our own land. Let us be the authors of our destiny." And the response has been electrifying. The African Union has yet to issue a formal comment, but various Pan-African organizations, scholars, and grassroots activists have hailed the move as one of the most revolutionary acts of African leadership in the 21st century. One economic analyst from the University of Dakar noted that if Burkina Faso can successfully manage this transition and demonstrate increased productivity, governance, and innovation without foreign intermediaries, it could become a case study in post-colonial economic liberation. Countries like Mali and Niger, which already enjoy close diplomatic ties with Ouagadougou under the AES alliance, may soon adopt similar policies. There are, of course, challenges ahead. The replacement of foreign experts must be accompanied by strong systems of accountability, continuous education, and transparent governance. The capacity of local professionals must be nurtured and respected, not only to match the standards previously set, but to exceed them. And yet, if there's one thing that Captain Ibrahim has demonstrated throughout his presidency, it is a fierce belief in the potential of his people. From launching national literacy campaigns to initiating food self-sufficiency programs, from building local infrastructure with volunteer labor to creating a national volunteer army, he has shown again and again that he is not interested in ruling over Burkina Faso, but in building it alongside its people. Ladies and gentlemen, the sands of Africa are shifting. The chains of neocolonialism, once masked in cooperation and hidden in contracts, are being openly challenged. and Burkina Faso, a country once overlooked in the global theater, is now stepping into the spotlight as a pioneer of African resilience. Will the international community retaliate? Will global institutions try to isolate or punish the country for daring to break the mold? Or will this bold move finally force a reckoning with the structural imbalances that have defined African-Western relations for far too long? These are the questions now reverberating through parliaments, think tanks, and dinner tables across the continent. But for the farmers, students, workers, and builders of Burkina Faso, this moment is about more than politics. It is about pride. It is about standing tall. It is about reclaiming what is rightfully theirs: the right to work, the right to lead, and the right to dream without foreign supervision. So as we continue to follow this historic development, one thing is clear: the world is watching, and the message from Ouagadougou is loud and clear: Burkina Faso belongs to its people. This has been your special report. Stay with us for continued updates and analysis on this and other major developments shaping the new African frontier. Thank you.
Welcome to Talk of Africa 360, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It is intended strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together.
Europe is shocked by the recent announcement from the President of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, who made it clear that he wants all Western workers in the country to be replaced with citizens. What is the reason behind this decision? And how will it affect the country's future? As we continue to witness these power struggles unfold, it is essential that we stay informed and engaged. By staying up to date on current events, we can better understand the complexities of global politics and work towards creating a better future for all. Before we begin, please make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay informed on current events. In today's video, we will take an in-depth look at this controversial issue and discuss the potential consequences of these actions. Keep watching to find out more. When citizens are employed in a wide range of industries, it can help to create a sense of shared identity and purpose. It can also help to reduce tensions that may arise from competition for jobs between locals and foreigners. The current situation in Burkina Faso highlights the complex relationship between developed and developing nations, as well as the challenges associated with economic development and dependence on foreign aid. One of the main concerns is that it could lead to a decrease in productivity. Burkina Faso, officially known as the Republic of Burkina Faso, is a landlocked country in West Africa. However, the new president, Ibrahim Traoré, who came to power in a military coup last year, has been taking steps to reduce this dependency and prioritize the needs of his people. With a population of over 20 million people, the country faces significant challenges, including high levels of poverty and unemployment, as well as ongoing security concerns. This announcement has been met with mixed reactions from various stakeholders. Supporters of the move argue that it is necessary to protect the jobs of Burkinabe citizens and promote self-sufficiency. The ultimatum given to companies to comply with the new rules or face nationalization is a concerning development. While the intentions of the government to protect the interests of its citizens are understandable, the methods used to achieve those goals must be carefully considered. The principles of private property rights and the rule of law must be upheld to ensure that the country's economy remains stable and attractive to investors. Additionally, a more collaborative approach involving all stakeholders is essential to develop sustainable and effective solutions. Many citizens feel that Western countries exploit their natural resources and cheap labor while offering little in return. He believes that his country has the potential to become self-sufficient and that it is time to take control of its own destiny. Time will tell whether his bold move will pay off and serve as an inspiration for other African countries seeking to break free from their colonial past and build a brighter future for their citizens. By prioritizing local workers, Traoré is sending a message that Burkina Faso is no longer willing to be taken advantage of. He is prioritizing the employment of Burkinabe citizens over foreign workers in order to boost local employment and reduce the country's dependence on foreign aid. This bold move has left many Europeans surprised and even envious as they recognize the potential benefits of such a policy. This will not only help to boost the local economy, but it will also help to create a more equitable society that values the contributions of its own citizens, and that it is time for a new partnership based on equality and mutual respect. For example, it could lead to a decrease in productivity if the country does not have enough skilled workers to meet its needs. Additionally, it could damage diplomatic relations with other countries if they perceive it as a hostile move. We hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. If you did, please don't forget to leave us a like and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so that you never miss out on any of our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Perhaps it is the fact that this is a relatively small and poor country with limited resources and infrastructure. By investing in its own people and creating a more equitable society, Burkina Faso is setting itself up for a brighter future. Yet it has managed to implement such a bold and ambitious plan that prioritizes the needs of its own citizens. This is a stark contrast to many European countries, which have historically prioritized foreign workers over local talent. This has led to a number of problems, including a decrease in local manufacturing, an aging population, and a growing divide between the rich and the poor. Only through thoughtful and inclusive decision-making can Burkina Faso and other developing countries pave the way for a brighter future. In fact, many countries around the world have implemented similar policies with great success. For example, China's recent rise as a global powerhouse can be largely attributed to its focus on prioritizing local talent and reducing reliance on foreign aid. Similarly, India's booming tech industry is largely made up of homegrown companies and employees who have received world-class education in their home country. It sets a dangerous precedent and undermines the principles of due process and the rule of law. Many are questioning why he would make such a drastic decision and what impact it will have on his country's future. And what can other countries learn from this small West African nation? Let's take a closer look. By replacing foreign workers with local talent, he aims to create more job opportunities for Burkinabe people and reduce unemployment rates. Additionally, this move is part of a broader effort to reduce Burkina Faso's dependence on foreign aid and expertise. Traoré believes that his country has enough skilled workers to meet its needs and that it is time to give them a chance. Additionally, the lack of consultation with stakeholders and the private sector before making this announcement is concerning. A more collaborative approach would have allowed for a more nuanced and effective solution that took into account the concerns of all parties involved. He has set a deadline of June for all companies to comply with the new rules, and he has threatened to nationalize any company that fails to comply. This move has raised concerns about the country's commitment to private property rights and the rule of law, which are essential for a thriving economy. They argue that by prioritizing local workers, the country can reduce its reliance on foreign aid and investment and become more self-sufficient. Furthermore, they argue that this move is a way to give back control to the people of Burkina Faso over their own economy and resources. While it may be tempting for governments to prioritize local workers over foreign workers, it is important to consider the potential drawbacks before making a decision. He plans to replace all Western workers in the country with local citizens. This announcement has generated significant buzz both locally and internationally, with many wondering about the rationale behind the move and its potential implications. They argue that by forcing out Western workers, Burkina Faso could lose access to the skills and expertise of highly qualified professionals. This could lead to a decline in productivity and economic growth, ultimately hurting the very people that the government is trying to protect. Additionally, critics argue that this move could damage the country's reputation and make it less attractive to foreign investors. This could lead to a decrease in investment and a worsening of the country's economic situation. Ultimately, the best approach is one that takes into account the unique circumstances of each country and the potential impact on both workers and the economy. If businesses are only able to hire workers from within the country, they may not be able to find the highly skilled labor they need to operate efficiently. This can lead to decreased productivity and economic growth. Additionally, prioritizing local workers can also create tensions with other countries, particularly those from where the foreign workers come. This can damage diplomatic relations and make it more difficult to reach agreements on important issues. Moreover, if a country has a large informal economy, it can be difficult to ensure that all workers are protected by labor laws and regulations. This can lead to exploitation and abuse of workers, which is a concern in countries where there is a high demand for cheap labor. Burkina Faso's new president, Ibrahim Traoré, has made a shocking announcement that has left Europe stunned. He plans to replace all Western workers in the country with local citizens. This bold move comes as part of his efforts to prioritize the needs of his people and promote self-sufficiency. In this video, we'll take a closer look at this controversial decision and explore its implications for the future of Burkina Faso. Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most up-to-date and accurate news from around the world. Traditionally, Burkina Faso has relied heavily on foreign workers, particularly from Europe. However, the new president has made it clear that he wants to change this trend and prioritize the employment of local citizens. By giving citizens more opportunities to work in their home country, they are less likely to seek employment abroad. This can help to reduce the brain drain that occurs when highly skilled workers leave their home countries in search of better job opportunities. Additionally, prioritizing local workers can help to boost the economy by putting more money into the hands of those who will spend it in the local economy. When foreign workers are employed, a significant portion of their income is often sent back to their home countries, which can negatively impact the host country's economy. By contrast, when local workers are employed, more of their income is likely to be spent in the local economy, which can help to stimulate growth. This move has been met with mixed reactions from the international community, with some praising his commitment to his people and others criticizing his decision to prioritize national interests. One of the main arguments in favor of prioritizing local workers is that it helps to reduce unemployment rates. Moreover, prioritizing local workers can help to promote greater social cohesion. Despite these potential benefits, prioritizing local workers over foreign workers can also present some challenges. It is important to strike a balance between protecting the rights of workers and promoting economic growth. Burkina Faso's new president, Ibrahim Traoré, has recently announced a major shift in the country's employment landscape. Before we delve into the details of this announcement, it is important to understand the context. Traditionally, Burkina Faso has been dependent on foreign aid and investment, particularly from Western countries. One of the most controversial measures he has taken is the decision to replace all Western workers in the country with local citizens. However, critics of the move argue that it is short-sighted and could damage the country's economy. Despite the criticism, President Traoré appears to be committed to his plan. While the intentions behind the move may be good, the methods used to achieve them are questionable. The situation in Burkina Faso highlights the challenges facing many developing countries as they strive to achieve economic growth and self-sufficiency. The recent announcement by Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré to replace all Western workers with local citizens has sent shockwaves throughout Europe. One of the key reasons behind this decision is Traoré's commitment to prioritizing the needs of his own citizens. Furthermore, the decision is also a response to growing anti-Western sentiment in Burkina Faso and other parts of Africa. Despite the controversy surrounding his decision, Ibrahim Traoré remains steadfast in his commitment to his vision for Burkina Faso. As the world watches, Burkina Faso has just shocked Europe with President Traoré's latest announcement. But how exactly did Burkina Faso manage to pull off this surprise? Firstly, it is important to note that this is not an entirely new concept. So what makes Burkina Faso's case so surprising to Europeans? By prioritizing local workers, Burkina Faso is taking a big step towards solving these problems. However, it is important to note that this is not a perfect solution and there are some potential drawbacks. Nevertheless, the benefits of prioritizing local workers outweigh the drawbacks, and it is a move that other countries should take note of. That concludes our video on the shocking decision by Burkina Faso's president to replace Western workers with local citizens.
As reactions continue to pour in from across the continent, one thing is clear: Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Africa 360, telling the stories that matter.